Your Los Angeles Lakers.
What position do I play?
Yeah, okay. You're not on the team, but
Right.
they pulled off an unbelievable comeback victory, down 27 points on national television, right? It was a big game. The Lakers had won a couple games. People were feeling good about them, but then we were like, well, they beat up teams that aren't that good or were missing players, right? And here they are on the road against the new-look Dallas Mavericks. Kyrie, Luka, right? They're supposed to be a team to be reckoned with.
Right.
And they come back, and here's the thing that's crazy. This year, I want to get the number right, Fred. When a team is up by 27 in the NBA this year, you know what the record is?
What is it?
138-0. Nobody in the NBA this year had surrendered a 27-point game. So teams that had a 27-point lead, Fred, 138-0. It is now 138-1 because the Lakers stormed back after being down early.
Yeah.
And now Laker fans are feeling it. They're like, AD is not sulking. He balled out yesterday.
Hit a big shot at the end.
Yes. So where are you now? Are you, Fred, impressed with the Lakers? And now are you looking? They're still not even over 500 yet, but they've won, what, 3 in a row now? Or
Yep.
Are you convinced? Are you impressed? Are you there on the Lakers?
All right, so bottom line, what are you saying? I mean, what are you trying to say here?
I'm asking you like...
No, I'm asking you, what are you trying to say? Are you saying it's fool's gold? Are you saying Dallas fell apart?
Dallas fell apart.
All right, are you saying the 2 games prior to that, guys were injured, so therefore the Lakers are fool's gold? That's what you're saying.
Yes, because let me tell you, it's not like the Lakers are some hell-bent Warrior team and they stormed back from a 27-point lead because they're that good and they're that talented. It's because the Mavericks choked. I just gave you the record, 138-0. You don't blow a 27. That's on you. That's why they got called out by their coach. That was about the Mavericks. That was more about the Mavericks than it was the Lakers.
Okay, Rob.
LeBron was injured. Hurt himself. He finished the game. He had a good game as well. But don't you think the Dallas Mavericks at home choked that job down?
I think Dallas at home, didn't look good. But I think you're shortchanging the Lakers. And I think nationally what you have to look at is this. For last year and until the trade deadline this year, the Lakers were an atrocity. Why? Because they had a terrible roster. Why? Well, because LeBron had been involved in the acquisition of Russell Westbrook.
He's the GM.
Right. And so when you pay Russell Westbrook, LeBron, and AD all of the money, and then you surround them with a bunch of guys nobody's ever heard of before and expect them to win when LeBron is hurt half the time and AD is hurt half the time, it's not going to happen. They had no money. They had no money. They couldn't go out and get legit NBA players. But at the trade deadline, they did something. And you have to give Rob Pelinka, the general manager, credit because you certainly were able to criticize him prior to this. He rectified past mistakes. He had traded away too much for Russell Westbrook. Okay. In return, he got Jared Vanderbilt, he got Malik Beasley, and he got D'Angelo Russell. The Lakers can't shoot from the outside, and Malik Beasley has never met a shot he didn't like. Jared Vanderbilt yesterday, I think 15 points, 17 boards against Dallas. And D'Angelo Russell, who got dinged up, is a legit threat to score from outside. The Lakers, for the first time this season, Rob, look like a legitimate NBA team with a legitimate NBA roster. They did not appear that way before the trade deadline. They were not a legitimate NBA team.
Okay, but are they making a run? Is this team put together that if that they're making a run they got a chance to win, they come out of the West?
Here's what I think. They should have lost in Dallas. You're absolutely right. But they persevered and were able to come back.
Right.
It's not like Dallas said, we're up by 28. We're going to play one guy against your 5.
No, I get it.
Go ahead, run over
No,
us.
they did what they were supposed to do, but I'm just saying that was a meltdown by Dallas.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't happen. It just doesn't not on the NBA level.
But
that's not because the Lakers are so good now minus Westbrook is my point. They're not that much. It's not like, oh, my God, that's it. We're good to go now.
No,
We're going to
no.
make a run to the finals.
They are better. Are they going to make a run to the finals? I don't know. Are they considerably better than they were? Definitely. If you were to meet them in the playoffs, if this continues, because I watched the game and I thought, well, there you go. It is fool's gold.
You watched the first in the beginning, didn't you? You were like, oh.
And then I went back at the end.
Okay.
I went back at the end. But I thought, it's fool's gold. No, wow, they've come back. Okay. However they got there, they were able to come back. However it occurred, they were able to finish on top, being down 28.
27.
So what I'm saying is this. If you see them in the playoffs, if they get there, if this continues, if they continue to win with a legitimate NBA roster, and I can't say that enough, when you've got 3 guys and a bunch of guys nobody's ever heard of, you're not going to win. It's not just about the great LeBron. But now, when they brought in players that are accomplished and know how to play NBA basketball, which gave them depth, they now have some depth. If they continue this and they are able to get to the playoffs, I'll tell you, that's probably the one team you do not want to see if you're somebody else.
But they've been saying this ever since LeBron came here. Let me just let's be fair.
Go ahead.
Well, you don't want to see LeBron and AD. I've been hearing that forever. They have a record under 500 this year when those two are playing. So it ain't like when those two play, they've been blowing people out or they're unstoppable. Then I would buy into it, but that hasn't been the case
because they didn't have any players around them. Yeah, you know what? If you had that old Laker roster and somehow they limped into the playoffs, that would be the team I would want to play in the first round. Because if AD goes down and LeBron goes down and Westbrook's running all over the place, you've got no shot anyway. They'll be inconsistent. They'll be out of control. They'll make all kinds of mistakes. Yeah, I would love to play those two guys with that roster. The difference is the roster is basically new. They have 6 new players. Every one of them can play. Every one of them is an NBA player. They didn't have that before. So now when you have a group of guys that are absolutely capable of playing and making a difference, I don't want to see those guys because they've got the support they need. If AD goes down, it's not a lost cause now.
So if AD goes down,
I'm not saying they win, but it's not a lost cause. If they had lost either one of those guys in the past, just pack it in. Just hope somebody else doesn't get hurt in the game and move on. But if either one of them go down now, they've got a shot to win. And that's very different than the way it was. I'm telling you, if they stay hot, you will not want to see them in the playoffs. And they stay healthy. And, of course, LeBron's already out.
But when you say that, you don't want to see them. What does that mean? First round, second round, play-in? They're under 500 as we speak.
I know.
Okay, so what does that mean?
That means
you don't want to see them.
You don't want to see them at any point if they get there. You don't want to see them in the play-in. Let's say they finish 6th. Let's say they can somehow inch their way up. I'm not saying they will. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but let's say it does. You don't want to see them. Any series they're in, all of a sudden, it's a very different series than it would have been. They have a legitimate shot to win.